Hey there, fellow struggling students and staff. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, the final school. Episode 3, Improving the Basic Quality of Life. Alright, the other thing I mentioned that I wanted to do is to consider cooking. So let's take a look at the workshop for cooking. So a scullery has to be grounded, meaning it has to be on the bottom floor. Same with a kitchen and a fine kitchen. So we know exactly where it needs to go. It has to be on the bottom floor. So I can turn this into my scullery, for instance. And the scullery must have a cooking station, and it provides a cooking rate once done. Got it. So build, crafting, grill pot. I need 5 more iron for a grill pot, and I'm only really going to get 5 more iron if I go into the spine, which is to essentially go into the dungeons and do dungeoneering. So that's going to have to wait a minute. What I can do instead is work on the dining rooms. So there's a staff dining room and a basic staff dining room and a basic student dining room. Eventually, there's really fancy staff dining rooms, but the fancy student dining rooms is not dining rooms. It's done in their rec halls. It's eventually done in their, what is it called? House commons. You end up recreating, dining, and sleeping in your house commons or your common room. But the regular dining room needs to be skewed, which has to be like one wall higher than the other. And then the student dining room has to be interior, meaning that it is not exposed to the outside space, left, right, or below, to the left, right, above, or below. So I could turn this into the student dining room and then have the staff dining room above it or something like that. So I'm going to prepare for something like that. I could also have a really small student dining room in here. This actually might do, where I'll put a tiny little scullery and a student dining room, because this is an interior room, and then this can be a skewed room for the staff dining room. This is currently not skewed, but I can make this skewed pretty easily. Oops, sorry. Kind of blocked you in. Dave, you're just going to have to wait while everyone else dances. Oh, rough. There we go. Maddox built the door for you. So the current priority is build a recreation room and dining rooms. And then we also have the wand ready to summon in a student. A nature student, and I'll do that once I have the dining rooms done. So here they go, recreating away, filling up their recreation meter, keeping themselves in a better mood. At some point, I also need some sort of infirmary because our wounds haven't gone away, or alchemy, one or the other. I'll pull on that once the dining rooms are done. Another spectral rift. Got it. So that should be a skewed room for the staff diners. And this Spectral Rift does a torch snuffer in 3.5 hours. I'm going to try to wait as long as I can for this one, so that the people that are asleep can sleep. I don't necessarily want to wake them up, if I can help it. And we're very close to the luxurious lighting needed for the recreation room. Alright, so if we open this up, as you can see, the keywords now is pristine and skewed. So this is indeed skewed. And this will fulfill the staff dining room requirements. Alright, let's start this battle. Dave is going to be in the front. And then Macho in the back. Begin. Fill up your mana and protect our torches. So let's go focus fire on one target. I'll focus fire on this one. And double damage will be real nice. Boom. Ooh, I am completely out of mana with Medic. So... pass. Recovers mana. But Medic's going to get a little hurt. So I'm definitely going to want that hospital sooner or later. Sooner than later, I should say. I thought I told them to refill their mana before the fight. Maybe his mana pool is just that bad? No, he must not have filled his mana before the fight. For whatever reason. Oh, you know what? You're tunnel vision. That's what's going on. So as tunnel visioned, I can only do direct attack spells. So that's what's forcing Matic into attacking only. And done. Maddox's pretty wounded, so I'm going to want to give Maddox some R&R soon with some sort of medical bed. So after we research the luxurious lighting, let's go and get critical care. Critical care up to alchemy stations. And queue up everything in between. Okay, so we have a proper dining room here, and if I click the table here, I can go access only staff, because I don't want students eating there, because they don't have a mood benefit for that room. And then when the student dining room, which is going to be this one, says a schoolroom. Why? It's interior. Mess halls must have 2 or more dining room tables. Ah, I see, said the blind man. Okay, so we have 1 of the 2 tables, and we'll build a copy once that first table's moved. It's very cramped, but, you know, it fulfills the requirements, and that's what matters most. And it will read as insufficient space for rituals. I don't really care, because there's not any rituals I was planning on doing at the moment. So this will be a mess hall for the students. This will be a dining room for the faculty, and that will help with morale a bit. I did just research critical care, so critical care allows for a medical bed. And let's drop a medical bed here. So at least we can start to heal people. And that's the last of our iron. So there we go, mess hall. So now if I click these tables, access, students only. So now the students have somewhere to eat, the teachers have somewhere to eat, and there's mood benefits for both. So the dining rooms are done. So now it's just the recreation room, which is the last remaining requirement. And I have now the ability to make candelabra. Candelabra are very luxurious. So the idea here was I will shrink the braziers. Actually, you know what? Let's move the braziers into the schoolroom and then replace, then just break down the torches because the torches are ugly. And then I'll be putting candelabra in here in order to illuminate it. And hopefully the addition of a bunch of candelabra in there will increase its luxury enough for that to be a proper conservatory. And then Dave can dance on his own and be plenty happy. All right, on top of all of that, let's go and queue up a nature. Now that we have the dining rooms built, I did say that that was going to be the requirement. The midden beasts, I had a raffle for. So let's do that raffle. So we have the Min and Beast Mike, or the Min and Jelly, and the Min and Jelly Terminal. Terminal Serenity. I feel like the two Min Jellies would have really interesting conversations with one another. Mike and Terminal Serenity next to one another. That's a weird combination. All right, but one more raffle for the nature student coming in. So raffle timer up. And here's the new student, Blythe. Blythe, let's take a look at you. So Blythe wants to defeat an enemy with a party with recommended mage level 2 or higher without any ally going unconscious. So get in a fight. Also wants to sleep in an austere bedroom. Got it. And also wants to learn alone, which is going to be pretty easy, but it does require him to learn alone in an intermediate classroom. Classroom, and I don't have one. I have a basic one so far. So it is possible to do all these trials for Unnamed. Additionally, Unnamed is really good at speed and mana, but not good at anything else. TLDR, I don't intend to permanently keep Dave or this new Nature Mage. I'm using them as like graduation stepping stones, or as brutal as that sounds. Okay, more candelabra. Gotta get that luxurious. Alright, the students are currently idle. That's fine. There's not a lot of stuff for the midden jellies to do. I'll hunt some of the rats and give them some resources to be able to use for processing. And this schoolroom is now up to luxury 15. So that will be 18, 21. So when all of those candelabra are done, this will be a conservatory, and Dave will be able to be graduated. I, of course, don't have an actual spot for Dave to graduate yet. So that's yet another problem to solve, I suppose. So now that we have the braziers down here, I can break down some of the torches, because this is very well lit now. I don't need all the torches. And then we can use the materials that we invested in the torches to do other things. Another thing I'd like to do is to have this become an immediate classroom. Because that's one of the trials that Unnamed, to be raffled, requires. So if we take a look at the Book of Rooms, and we go to classrooms, an immediate classroom needs to have at least one bookshelf. That's pretty easy to do. I just need some smoke stick. And I'll set the smoke reeds to 5 priority, and we'll be able to get a bookshelf in there. Now, there's actually a disadvantage sometimes to having a better classroom. And that disadvantage is that in a better classroom, your students will learn more quickly. And if they learn more quickly, they spend less time in your school. So if you want them to spend more time in your school, sometimes it's better to teach them more slowly, or teach them less frequently in terms of scheduling. So you don't necessarily want to be pushing students quickly through the system if you want them sticking around to be able to fulfill their trials or something like that. Oh, Unnamed, you don't actually have a bedroom. Sorry. Oh, that's rough. I totally forgot. So we'll assemble one for you. Give me a moment. And obviously getting a bedroom for them is going to be a relatively important thing to fulfill soon. But, yep, they're asleep on the ground. Not something that humans particularly enjoy doing. Alright, needs medical rest. So the way the medical rest works is when you're wounded, you sleep in this medical bed, which gets charged up with water magic, and then you heal as you lay in there. And this bed is just... Initially, when we built it, we charged it up, but it's just empty now. So I just need to charge it back up. Avalka and Macho are fully healed. Dave is fully healed. Matic is not, but Matic has healed a lot since Matic got hurt. Alright, the nature mage is named Sapo. Question. Once Dave graduates, what element to replace with Dave upon graduation? And then, priority, break fire. I am going to set you up to assemble. I want that conservatory built, and we're just waiting on the candelabra to be constructed. So, should be pretty soon. No meals available for whom? Probably gutberry vines. I haven't been doing a very good job of keeping track of food that we have. So, resources. Meals. We now have some gutberries, okay. We'll get around to cooking soon. Xavier and Darzan, thank you for the resubs. Okay, this room's almost done. Also, if you look at the schedule here... Oh, you know what? I messed up trained students. Sapo is obviously not a trained student. Let me take a look at that group again, see why it screwed up. So, skill cap reached in all... Oh, I didn't actually check these. In all of these. There we go. So now Sapo is back to learning. So if I take a look at the schedule, Sapo is all initiates, and Dave is trained students. Checkboxes. Forgetting to do checkboxes. Woe as me. And here Sapo is waiting to cast magic. Okay. Research is done on alchemy. We'll get the incense burner, then the creepy quilters. I'm just like queuing up everything else that is that we have available to us to research. Just getting it all done. And then I might like cancel it and change the priorities as time goes on. We'll see. Wow, you guys really absolutely could not decide on what to summon. I will summon another water, I guess. But here's a conservatory. So the purpose of this conservatory is so that Dave can dance on his own, because Dave's conviction, the last trial, is dancing on my own. So I can right-click on Dave, tell him to listen to Enchantavone, and it will override any of his scheduling so that he actually does it on his own, finishing the last trial, and then we can subsequently graduate him. So here we go. Dave has completed his dancing on his own trial. And as a result, all the trials are done. Which gives him a huge skill gain if he becomes an apprentice and staff. Now, I'm not ready to take on apprentices just yet. I could talk about apprenticeships. Basically, an apprentice is when they are focusing on a specific school of magic and becoming like a further trained mage of that school. The reason I'm not ready to take that on right now is apprenticeships require, like, for instance, a nature apprenticeship requires a nature apprentice tree. Well, that's so far in the research beyond what I have access to that Dave's going to go crazy not learning anything or fulfilling trials, waiting for me to build one of those. So it's going to benefit me to you know, just graduate him. So the current priority right now is build a graduation room, because Dave is done to move on. So building the graduation room. I want... Is it a teaching? What type is it? Furniture? Yes. So I need iron and phoenix flower. Now, the problem with the iron is I don't have it. So let's go into the spine and get a little bit of iron. Additionally, going into the spine is a level 2 recommended mage, which is a trial that Sapo has. That we do a level 2 fight and no one gets knocked unconscious. So, start battle. Sapo swaps in for Dave. Macho takes the front seat. And these guys do critical hits when they hit mages with armor, which sucks for Matic, but that's fine. They are also weak to nature, dark, and air. Okay. So the other requirements for that ritual sigil was Phoenix Flower. So let's also go harvest some Phoenix Flower so we can build that once it's time comes. I think I'm just going to go aggressive here and try to knock them out. Knowing that I have to tank. I should have attacked the top belcher. Oh well. They're dead anyway. And nobody got knocked unconscious, so trial done. Avaka leveled up, Sapo leveled up, Sapo fulfilled a trial, we gained iron. Gaining iron is really important because the iron is what was required in the ritual sigil. It's also required for another medical bed if we want another medical bed. Which, at some point, I'm sure we do. So in order to build a ritual room, if we take a look at the room requirements... An assembly hall allows us to do basic rituals, and it needs a total luxury of 7 and a ritual sigil. That's it. No other requirements. So I was planning on putting it here, and then having the other classroom here. Basically dropping a wall between them. Like that. That way we can graduate them, and, oh, you know what I just realized? The Yoda cam was broken. I just fixed it. And I've been missing some audio cues for, like, hydrates and stuff. Alright, so this is a basic classroom. And we did want a intermediate classroom, because Sapo needs to, has a trial for an intermediate classroom. Right? Solo learning in an intermediate classroom. And then, an austere bedroom trial. So, austere bedroom trial. What I'm going to do is have Sapo take over this bed. And Dave will take over this bed. I was going to replace Dave's water with another water. And then the beds down here can be... I'll just have it be any assigned. So now Sapo will have the austere bedroom trial fulfilled, having slept up there. And there's our intermediate classroom. Perfect. Alright, the other thing we wanted, obviously, was the ritual sigil. And that's not going to fit here, is it? Shoot. Maybe what I'd do is move this wall over one. Pretty cramped quarters. I could always go up a floor, but I'm just going to try to fulfill the bare requirements for room fulfillment without having to, like, tinker much with it. And then we'll make it nicer over time. Oh my god, that's still not enough for a ritual. Why is the ritual so... Okay, I guess I'm going to have a ritual up here, because this is going to drive me insane. So, demolish... Alright, if that's the case, I'm going to build another floor. We do, at this point, have the material for it. So it shouldn't be too difficult to do. And then, if we want this to still be skewed, I could just make it weird like that. And that will retain its skewed settings, but also allow me to build up a floor. Look at everyone chilling out in the recreation room while, oh, shoot. Rain's incoming. Priority. Everybody critically construct. This is gonna look a little wonk. But I'm gonna build, like, a weird thing here to protect the room below it from rain. Because rain's coming and this room's gonna get damaged if I don't stick a weird temporary roof on top of it. We're fixing it! We're fixing it! Alright, as soon as this roof section is done... Okay, this is technically protected from the rain now. Because as long as there's a roof physically above it, it's fine. And this is probably not skewed anymore. No, it's still skewed. Why is it not a staff dining room? What is it missing? Dining room... Oh, probably luxury. Yeah, okay. So, candelabra for you. And then move the braziers. Just in time, rain protection. Alright, this, I actually don't... Let's demolish that. I don't want this to be a room. And then this up here, is obviously going to be not a roof thing once it's done. The fog seems to gloat about its recent victories, but it's not doing any harm just yet. Maddox likes peaceful dining, so being in a peaceful dining room. Not that I necessarily need to cater to their needs at this level yet, because, you know, they're all happy, so it's fine. Alright, so the dining room is now a dining room again. Good. And then, once the rain is over... Or actually, I don't necessarily need to wait for the end of the rain. I could start building the infrastructure needed for the next floor now. But I would very much like to graduate Dave. The thing is, classrooms could go up here. Classrooms don't have a lot of like space requirements, so I'm going to move the classroom up there in that weird like attic area for now. And then eventually build like a proper classroom area that isn't, you know, a roof nook. And that allows me to use this area as a ritual room. So the only problem with this room at the moment, okay, rain stopped, is that you can't even walk here. So let's fix that. Alright, that's a really weird classroom, the way it's laid out, but, you know, it's fine, as long as it's lit, and it is lit. I love how weird everything gets. Alright, we need more phoenix flowers for the braziers, which I don't have access to, because I harvested them all. Or alternatively, a window, and this can be like a bedroom. Because there's still people sleeping in the basement, so setting them up in a staff bedroom or something would be nice. I lost my rec room? Oh, so my rec room is no longer towered. Yes. Let's fix that. What I need for that is... take a look at the research. Where is the... okay. I'll fix it a different way. So... cancel. That... so the problem is, this needs to be towered, meaning it doesn't share walls with anything. So what I could do is... I'll build it weird for now. And fix it later. Everything is a temporary solution. The longest lasting solution is a temporary one, right? Alright, there we go. So this ought to fix some of the issues that we're having, so that that room gets the tower designation and isn't all screwed up. Conservator is now a conservator again. No problem. The other thing is the braziers and the torches here are vulnerable to rain because there's no roof directly over this tile here. So I could have like the weirdest little like shingle here protecting the thing below from rain, which would be pretty handy. I don't have the research for like supports that aren't walls yet. That therein lies the problem. So Avalka and Manic want to sleep in a bedroom together. So, in order to keep them happy, we will set them up as such in their own little bedroom. And then we have the ritual room, and the ritual room requires a certain luxury. So in that case, let's get rid of all the wall torches, which are going to cause issue with that luxury requirement. And then instead, replace it with like windows or with braziers or candelabra, whatever we have access to. So I'll continue to harvest the phoenix flowers and the ice flowers, which gives us better illumination that doesn't cause mood penalties. Oh, that roof actually blocked in the area. I didn't think that would happen. But that's okay, because what I could do is I can put the roof like that instead. And then that won't enclose it. Alright, that's still too dimly lit. So we'll need a little bit more harvested resources to make that pretty. But we're getting the phoenix flowers now. Alright, fog is coming pretty close, so in the morning I'll do a repel, pushing it back with gut berries and wood, and it does look like I need to harvest more gut berries in order to be able to keep people fed and also do the ritual. So queuing up harvested gut berries. I really like really early game not to do farming because it requires a lot of like micromanagement when you don't have the attendants. You know, the quilted beast to do like the tending and the harvesting. So relying on like naturally grown gut berries and the like to keep us fed is pretty handy. Alright, Macho is almost fully healed, 104 out of 107, Maddox fully healed, Avaka's fully healed, Dave and Sapor are fine. We're almost done with the ritual room. So the ritual room that we need, if we select a goal here, that will make it a little bit easier as an assembly hall. It's missing one luxury. That's it. So that will hit its goal in just a moment. Put all the junk away. Oh, horticulture affects the soil. Crop plants have a 50% chance to drop some sort of offal rather than the normal crop. Got it. And I did say in the morning we would do a repel fog, so let's use Sapo. Because Dave is got, you know, his max level and all that. And you can also see that Dave's learning is dropping. It doesn't drop very fast. You know, 48 hours until he's basically aimless. But I've essentially got 48 hours to graduate him before he's really upset with his situation. It's plenty of time. I almost have the assembly hall done. Alright, fog's pushed. Nice. And we don't have any doll crystals revealed by the fog, so there isn't any, like, special resources that we gain access to, unfortunately. But I will queue up harvesting the smoke reeds, the gut berries, and any stone that I find. Alright, solo learner for Sapo in an intermediate school is done. You know what I could do? Is I could destroy these braziers in lieu of candelabras, and that should help a bit. The braziers are made with phoenix flowers, the candelabras are made with phoenix flowers, so they're essentially competing with one another. So if I do that, it should hit the luxury requirement to be a ritual. Also, I am going to shrink the bookshelf to keep this a basic school, unless I need an intermediate one for any reasons. I want to slow down the progress of my students for now. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it gives me more time to fulfill their trials, and because I'm not so quick at fulfilling their trials just yet, the more time the merrier. So that I don't have a time crunch. And in terms of Sapo, he only needs to learn one level of water, one of dark, and one of nature. So he's nearly fully trained. Meaning, working on that last trial of sleeping in a austere bedroom for 18 hours is important, but that all he needs to do is sleep in the bedroom that I've designated him and he'll be fine. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow mages.